The chair recognizes the honorable member for Mount Moriah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my fellow colleagues, distinguished guests. A pleasant afternoon. I stand on behalf of the youth of Mount Moriah in full support of the resolution as tabled before this honorable House, contributions as to why the Bahamas must regard its youth as its greatest asset. Mr. Speaker, are our young persons being sufficiently trained to compete at the globally competitive standards? Are our youth, specifically those who are graduating from our secondary and tertiary level institutions of learning, prepared to not only enter, but make meaningful contributions to the workforce? Mr. Speaker, as the honorable member from East Grand Bahama previously mentioned, unemployment for young persons stands at 30.7%. But what is the reason for this alarming statistic? In a report released by our Ministry of Education in 2012, the top performing public high schools in the province, only average grades of D- in national examinations, while top performing private schools only average grades of C-. On the Family Island, Abaco, D-. South Andros, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, D. Mr. Speaker, it is not hard to see a correlation between these horrifically poor examination results and the precipitously increasing rate of youth unemployment in the Bahamas. The Bahamas educational system is in urgent need of reform if the Bahamas and its youth, who are not the future but the present, are to facilitate industrial development and economic expansion. As former U.S. Senator John Chaffee explained, when we expand our thinking, we expand who we are as human beings, the values and concepts we use to guide our choices. Bahamas, it is time to expand our thinking. I propose that more funding and opportunities for the creation of new industries and revitalization of neglected industries be established for our youth. An excellent example of this forward-thinking initiative has been introduced by the Campbell Shipping Company. Annually, this company holds a 3-week summer program to spark interest in the maritime field, which is a growing, profitable industry in the Bahamas. Furthermore, the Bahamas Maritime Cadet Corps, organized by the Bahamas Maritime Authority, is designed to introduce young persons between grades 10 and 12 to the maritime industry, preparing them for a profitable potential career within this vast market. So as you can see, Mr. Speaker, these young persons are being properly trained up to 4 years before they are to graduate from high school. 4 years. As soon as they have completed their tertiary level in education, they not only have relevant degrees, Mr. Speaker, but they also have a profession. They can enter and contribute to the workforce immediately. The focus of education in the Bahamas has been insular, Mr. Speaker, for a very long time. Teaching our young persons how to add and subtract, how to read and write, is all well and good, Mr. Speaker, but it is not sufficient. Similar opportunities, such as those provided by the Bahamas Maritime Authority, need to be established for our youth. Mr. Speaker, the Bahamas cannot remain one-dimensional any longer. Can we feed ourselves, Mr. Speaker? Why do we rely on the United States for so many things, Mr. Speaker? As it stands, our Department of Statistics reports that agriculture represents a minuscule 2.1% of our GDP. Mr. Speaker, this means that, as indicated by the 5% leap unemployment took as per 2009 recession, the growth of the Bahamas is largely dependent on growth in America. Mr. Speaker, our cultural programs need to be assimilated into our schools so that fewer funds need to be spent importing produce from the United States. Mr. Speaker, suitable vocational training shall not just be available at BTVI, but rather students should be exposed to these various trades during secondary, even primary level education. Mr. Speaker, not everyone is going to be a straight A student, as indicated by our startlingly low national averages in the Bahamas General Certificate of Education examination. However, the message that our educational system is sending, that there is no hope for students who are not academically proficient. Mr. Speaker, our educational system is sending the message that if you are not good at math, English, biology, chemistry, you are going to be stuck pumping gas for the rest of your life. Young persons should not have to rob and steal and kill simply because our educational system has failed them, leaving them unprepared and poorly equipped to enter the workplace and provide for themselves. This, Mr. Speaker, is why we urgently need educational reform. Mr. Speaker, the Bahamas has come a long way during its 40 years of independence, but we, as a youth, represent a new generation of thinking, new ideas, new perspectives to view the world. Progress, advancement, discovery, invention. We, as a youth, must set the bar even higher, because no matter how far we have come, we must go farther. And Mr. Speaker, I will close with the final words of wisdom from a study conducted by UNESCO in 2012. $1 invested in new skills can pay back 15-fold in economic growth. The journey continues. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Honorable Member from Mount Moriah, thank you very much for your contribution.
Stanton, tell me, what was it like making that presentation today in the chamber?
It was really an invaluable experience to be in the House of Assembly, where so many great politicians over the years have sat, and it was really a great opportunity for me, as well as the other youth parliamentarians today, to voice their opinions on the changes that need to be made, and it's really a great experience for all of us, including myself.
And I know that you spoke about agriculture and some other things. What would you like to see happen as a result of your presentation and the presentations of all your other colleagues today in this House of Assembly? What would you like to see happen?
I'd like to see all of the contributions that were made by our members at least be heard by the current members of Parliament. I believe that our culture in particular is an industry that definitely needs to be focused on as we move on and progress as a nation. I feel that issues such as that, immigration, all very important, technology, as we progress, all of these need to be heeded in the decisions made by government.
Would be a challenge, of course. It would be quite interesting if you decided you wanted to go into politics. What are you going to do?
Right now, my focus is on accounting, but I'm not closing any doors. If that opportunity is provided for me, and if I continue on this path, then certainly it'd be great experience for me, and I'd love to represent the Bahamian people and make them proud.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and good luck in all that you do.
And I'd like to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank all of those in Parliament that made this event possible. I'd like to thank all that came out today in support of us, youth. I'd like to say how proud I am of all the youth parliamentarians, and I'd like to say Hi to all my Kingsway Academy persons representing, 014. And so it's a pleasure, and I'd like to reiterate the fact that youth are not the future. We are the present. This is our generation. This is our time to make changes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. If he does decide at some point to get into politics, watch out.